We're here at Lian Li's booth at Computex 2024 where they have a bunch of RGB, loads more RGB, and my favorite case here has none. And also it's kind of cheap. Thanks to Lian Li for sponsoring this video, and this thing is freaking incredible. Just while you look at this, think about how much you would imagine that it costs, given that there's walnut all around right here and 270 millimeter fans. Now what's really fun about these is if you look up at the top and press this button, boop, they can reverse directions just like that. Now this isn't so that it just blows air on my face, even though that is really quite a nice feature, but it's so that they can get the dust off the back of the impellers. So you've probably seen this before where as your fan gets dirty, all of the dust builds up right back here along the edge. And by just simply pressing this button here, once it starts back up, oh, come on, dude. Oh, I might have done it the wrong way. There we go. But by doing that, it can get rid of the dust that's back there, and your fans can look very nice and clean. What's also really cool is that they did a whole bunch of testing to find out that the best spot to put your dust filters is actually on the back of the fans, going back to the whole the dust builds up at the back of your fan thing. These right here are super easy to remove, so you can just come in here, rip it out, and there you go. Of course, this being a case made in 2024, it has back to front support. All of the connectors are nice back here. And also if you have an EATX motherboard, it will fit in here as well. But the thing that I like the most about the 217 is its price. This right here with 270 millimeter fans and a 140 in the back is just $119. I was really surprised that it came in that low with that much stuff on it, and especially like you're normally paying such a large tax for walnut on a case. It's really nice to see something that's just nice and classy for not too much. But maybe you're not all that classy. But that doesn't mean that your life needs to be difficult. This right here is their new WRLS system, wireless, which makes a lot of sense because their controller is now super simple. I know that you guys have spent so much time with a whole bunch of wires getting crammed into the back of your computer case and all the RGB. It's all just this now. That's all that it is. Now you can just plug this into the back of your case like you can see right here, or you can just connect it to your motherboard header with a little internal doodad, and then you just stuff it back here. You don't have to worry about any wires. How this system works is we have our controller and it wirelessly connects to this guy right here, which magnetically attaches to your fans. Now all of the power for your RGB and fans is just delivered with the 12 volts that's supplied to your fans for power. We don't even have PWM signals on our fans here because that is all done through software. Although if you really want to control your fan speed in the motherboard BIOS, you can connect the controller to the header right here. Since we only have 12 volts going into the fan, the system is a little bit complicated. So inside every single fan, we have a 12 volt to 5 volt converter, and that allows us to run the RGB over just the fan power, and all of this works quite well. But the thing that's interesting is it doesn't increase the price. There is more complexity, but you don't have to worry about any of that. And because Lian Li's saving money on all of the connectors and the wires and all of the pins for all of those connectors that would be on the controller, the price is actually exactly the same as the last generation, even though they do have to have wireless controllers and receivers throughout the whole thing. Another benefit of this new system is that if you want to have an LCD screen in your fans, in the past you would have to have only LCD fans all daisy chained together for it to work properly, but now you're able to have non-LCD fan, LCD fan, and then not an LCD fan, or any combination of those should you so choose, so you don't have to just completely ball out on 3 LCD fans, and maybe you can just get one in the center, like right here. This wireless system also works for strimmer cables, and you can have up to 8 receivers connected at once, and each receiver can do up to 4 fans for a total of 32 fans. That's quite a few. Enough about RGB though, let's look at another case that it does have RGB, but has a bunch of other cool things too that okay, we can't really see it because the GPU's in the way, one sec. This is the Lancool 207, and what's really neat about it is that the power supply has been moved up to the front of the case. Now what this allowed them to do is drop some fans down in the bottom and move them over closer to the motherboard so that they can blow air up into the GPU in a way that's actually useful. Normally they would just be blowing kind of past it. What this also allowed them to do is drop the motherboard down below the top of the power supply, which allowed them to make the whole case more compact than usual. This is the size of a case that would normally be reserved for like a M-ATX build, but they're able to get a full ATX board in here, and it's really not that large. Here it is compared to the 217. Now, if you do put a large GPU into this, they have a bracket right here to hold it up, or if you want to mount your GPU vertically, they just have a very simple block. They just give you this piece of rubber. It's wicked. The most wickedest thing about the Lancool 207 though is the price. With 240mm fans that are RGB in the front, two inverted 120s down here, it's 80 bucks. That's really quite good. Well, maybe have a little bit more money, which is where the O11 Vision Compact comes in. Now, in the past, the Vision Compact, the thing that was really fancy about it were the 3 glass panels, but maybe you don't want 3 glass panels. You can now have mesh on the top as well, if you so choose, for extra cooling. What also is really cool about this is that they have an absolutely massive grommet right here that you can chuck your entire AIO cooler through so that you can hide the tubes back through it and have a super clean look. Now the O11 Vision Compact will come with the glass panel and the mesh panel at just $119, which is really quite good. But maybe you want to hide the tubes to your AIO in a different way, which is where their new Hydroshift AIO comes in. What they have right here is a little channel for the tubes so that they can come along the back side of the radiator and be almost completely invisible in your system. Wow, look at those mirror fans too. Looks so freaking nice. Now, because the bend radius here has to be super tight, they couldn't use normal tubes for an AIO, and these are instead squirrel tubes that you would normally use in a server. So you can bend it really hard, and the internal diameter of the tube is going to remain the same for nice reliability. Speaking of reliable, they have this new connector for their 12-volt high power, which uses soldered connections down here instead of push pins. Now what this allows is that if you insert it a whole bunch of time with a push pin connector, it can over time move and not connect all the way and burn your house down. Not very desirable. But by soldering all of the connections, they have done 50 insertions and seen no increase in resistance using these guys right here. And they also have had a similar connector system on their latest strimmer cables and have not had a single RMA because of that failing. Also, we have a bunch of power supplies right here, 1300 watt, 1000 watt, all the way down to 850. These ones are all platinums. They have these really cool connectors on the side. We have USB hub right here, so you can do one motherboard signal right there to your USB. It goes out to 4 if you have a whole bunch of RGB devices. They also have a couple of power supplies over here, 650 to 850. Those are all golds, and they are very, very close to turning off the power in here. So we are going to wrap up this video. So huge thanks for watching this video, and huge thanks to Lian Li for sponsoring it. Check out everything that we have talked about in the link down below, and just have a great old day. See you later.